What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of The Never Met. So we picked things up where we left off, which is between Irvin and Alicia. Their argument went left. Irvin went downstairs. Alicia follows him, but she's taking control of the conversation, talking about Irvin's facial expressions, how he needs to be mindful about how he can come across as aggression and blah, blah, blah. But I have to disagree because Alicia's not even taking accountability with the way she came across and what she said that could be a trigger to him because when you told Irvin that you are feeling unsafe physically or emotionally, that led to him removing himself from the conversation, removing himself from your space because any real man will walk away. You're not about to paint me to be someone that is invading your space when you're not welcoming it, when that's not what this is. And I feel like Alicia likes to use her condition as a way for it to give her a pass to treat people like shit, to way that she likes to be manipulative and she likes to gaslight situations, make them worse than what it is, but then play the victim because she has a condition. I don't like that. And girl, again, throughout this episode, I'm going to ask, why are you here? Because what's the point of you coming on this show to continue a relationship with someone you met online that you felt the vibe, but yet you are putting so much expectation and boundaries and stipulations on how you want to move forward? You expect for him to just get where you are, but it's like, how? When that's not what you've shown him online. But anyway, moving on from there. Uh, what else? Kiki gets drunk, all right, and she is all over the place. And I think Alexis recognized Kiki's behavior because she got so drunk, she almost fell off a beanbag chair. And then she decided to jump on the couch and take a little nap. Then we have the next morning, Jared and Charlie have a conversation about the bomb that they dropped last night. And now they need to get to the logistics. What is like for them to be moving forward to. He asked her how big is her house. She has a big house. She has a 6 bedroom home that she lives quite comfortably. Then Jared's talking about looking into some colleges in Dallas. I think he's in that field, maybe athletic or teaching. And just having conversations about moving together, it sounds like it's hope. Like he's willing to move to where he lives and to where she lives. That's a lie from the pits of hell. He ain't moving nowhere. So everybody was already up and about, ready to start the day. And Kiki, she stayed in bed until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Time sped up. That she is still in bed, probably hungover from what took place last night. And why did y'all have to get a close up on her sucking her thumb? So embarrassing. So Brandon is talking to Alexis and Chris about how do I go about asking about her drinking because he has seen in person that it's an issue. And I think Chris even recognized that it was a weird conversation because I think she asked Chris, does she drink too much? And he said, I don't know if you drink too much. I just met you. So Brandon wakes her up so they can have a conversation on the balcony. He talked about how she got too drunk the night before and she gives excuses to say, I'm not a violent drinker, I'm a fun drinker. And she figured she's in a new environment. She wanted people to like her. So she decided to let loose. I want to become a social drinker. And listen, I'm a social drinker myself. I do enjoy having a couple of cocktails when I'm around people that I enjoy being around, but I never get plastered drunk. I'm like under a 3 drink minimum, and the rest I'm drinking water. I will not get super drunk around strangers that I don't know. I'm on a reality show with people that I just met. I can't really say I trust yet. So that was a very poor judgment on your part, Kiki, to just allow yourself to get plastered like that. That's very embarrassing. Um, so he asked her, do you think you've had any issues with alcohol? But then she mentioned a time where she wanted to drink and she invited a friend over for them to finish a bottle. That sounds like a problem because what was the purpose of you inviting this friend over for a drink? Unless you guys planned like a movie night or something or a game night and y'all had liquor and food to match, but just to invite someone to come over and drink by yourself? I mean, just to invite someone over to finish a whole bottle, that sounds like a problem. That sounds like you didn't want to drink alone. So you wanted someone to be in that space with you. And she defended the fact that she's not an alcoholic, but today she won't drink. Sure. So Chris and Alexis, they ended up talking things out about what happened on the first challenge, about the art, how they felt disconnected. And Chris was just spewing out a whole bunch of bullshit about how I felt it was a trigger with the way you took control of things, knowing I don't like it. Alexa said, I never wanted that to be a trigger for you. I understand how that made you feel. So they're going to apologize to one another and move forward. But the way that Chris ended this conversation by saying, even if we don't end up together, we can still be friends, that's a setup right then and there. And I don't think this relationship is real. I think it's a production plant. And I think that Chris is just using this opportunity to be on reality TV. And from what I was able to discover, shout out to Misha, in my opinion, he is a contestant off of the last season of Ready to Love Dallas. And I think he had already been infatuated with somebody and have been working towards a relationship. So he ain't in this for love with Alexis. He's just in this for a check. So moving on from there. It is now time for another challenge with the couples, and this one is about exploring intimacy and also ways of connecting with your partner. And they're going to do the Kama Sutra. So, if you're able to hold each position you are seeing for more than 10 seconds, you will win a couples massage. So, Alicia was the most excited about winning the massage, but she did not want to partake in the activity, meaning to be close and personal with Irvin. It is a couples challenge, Alicia. Why are you here? What is the purpose of you avoiding any type of physical activity with Irvin? Then you should not have been talking to him online and forming a relationship if at one point you never thought you would see him in person and you actually try to physically get to know him, physically become attracted to him. Like, make it make sense, girl. Why are you here? Like, it's not even that serious. But anyway, moving on. Alicia chose Tati and Clay to be their first competitors. They lose. Tati and Clay won. And the way that Clay got into the position so fast, meaning he knows how to get into these positions, he is frequent in these positions. But Alicia, why are you here? You didn't even want Irvin close to you. I don't know what you expect. How are you building a relationship online and never at one point figure you guys will have to form a more physical connection in person? But Alicia was the one excited about losing this challenge. Why are you here? If you didn't want to participate in the challenge that can lead to you being intimate, then why are you here? Why every time an opportunity for you to be close with this man, you don't want it? You run away. You don't want it to be seen. You don't want it to be so fast, so quick. Girl, you are on a reality show that it has a fast-paced process. It is only 3 weeks. Make it make sense. What long would you have wanted that person to wait for you to be comfortable in order for you to be intimate? How long? I can't deal with Alicia. She is not meant to be here. Okay, so Brandon and Keke, they were next, and Keke is flexible. It looked like a tie to me, but Clay and Tati won. Then it was Charlie and Jared. The London Bridge was the position. I don't know. I couldn't tell how everybody was doing it right. I don't know. But then it was Jay and Cinco. We all know that Jared and Cinco know each other very well. So they probably have already experimented with a couple of positions or two. And throughout this entire challenge, Clay was a bit too aggressive in his attraction to Tati. Like, he was gripping her ass, gripping her waist, like doing a lot in front of everybody. And then Tati felt like he was performing, like he was a bit too much ass grabby. He was a bit too much PDA. And a part of me is like, I mean, he has been wanting this for so long. But then I can understand Tati's perspective on wanting her to be respected in her boundary. Obviously, you guys are physical one another. That's great. But damn, can you hold back a little bit? I mean, I'm all for PDA. I'm all for showing affection to your partner. But if it's not what you want all the time, you want it to be a special moment between the two of you when you're alone. I get it. So Ty and Britt were the last to challenge, and Chris and Alexis, they were funny. Chris was trying to pick up Alexis, and I don't think Alexis could hold on. So this was the end of it. Britt and Ty were the winners. So now the rest of the couples are just enjoying their free time before dinner, and apparently it is Brandon and Kiki's turn to cook. But here go Keke asking Alexis to help prepare noodles, and she's giving her directions on how to prepare the noodles so that way they can be already set aside and prepared. So by the time Keke comes back, she can go ahead and get dinner started. But why aren't you just doing it now? Why are you trying to carve out some free time before dinner when this is your responsibility? And I don't know what time it was. Maybe it was around 4 or 5. So maybe there was a set schedule for the couples to be ready to eat. But I have a problem. And she said she was tired. So she walked off. So then Clay is outside by the pool with Jerry. And he is telling him about he had an ex-fiance who traveled across country and showed up on his doorstep pregnant. He was surprised, wonder if it's his. So he has a newborn daughter. I don't know how old the daughter is. If it's newborn, it got to be around 6 months. So now he's a bit nervous on how to tell Tati about this news. Now, Tati probably caught her earful of what she could get from this conversation. And when she wanted to ask him, what were you afraid to tell me? He goes around in circles trying to come up with a lie to avoid what he is afraid to tell her. And he's all about, I didn't want to say it without really meaning it, but I think I love you and all this and the third. And Tati is not believing him. She says, you're talking in circles. I just want to know, are you a liar? What are you lying about? And he is a liar. Point blank, period. So Keke goes upstairs. She says she's hot. She can't cool down. She said maybe it was the activity that they did outside, and it had to have been very, very hot that day. And since you guys were all in your workout gear and you guys were wrestling around in the sand, I'm pretty sure that was a lot. So Britt wanted to check on her, make sure she's good. But I think your body is reacting to all of those liquids you consumed the night before, and you have not cleared that out of your system. You're not drinking enough water. You're not drinking enough Powerade. You need to clear your system. You get some electrolytes in you. So, but then she's all about wanting to make sure that she can figure this out with her and Brandon, because she doesn't like that Brandon is judging her, controlling her, or pointing out that she drinks more than everybody. And he's trying to take my fun away. I'm like, I don't think he's trying to take your fun away. I think it's him recognizing that you don't act like yourself when you're drinking, and it bothers him. And how is he taking your fun away? Meaning that you think you can't have a good time without consuming alcohol? And I wanted to be on Brandon's ass about being controlling and, taking over everything. But as it turns out, he is reacting in the most proper way of letting you know this is an issue for him. You need to figure it out. So this was a waste of a scene right here. Irvin and Alicia, they meet up with a therapist, right? And she's talking about how they keep on having misunderstandings. And Alicia takes over the conversation once again about how they've only known each other through a screen. And I see it's a bit different. I want us to approach it differently. And he agrees. He recognizes that she's not as affectionate as he thought she would be. But then Alicia brings up her condition that she was diagnosed, and how it made her change her mind. It made her change her body. It made her change the way she thinks and all this and that, the third. And Irvin called it out by saying, I feel like you're trying to weaponize your trauma against me. She said, how am I weaponizing your trauma against you? It's a condition. But that's people to treat you so fragile that when you're in a situation that you kind of start, you don't want to take accountability. Now, the therapist pretty much agreed that you are weaponizing your condition, because as far as you wanting to be seen as a different person, you're expecting for him to change because of your condition, and he don't know you. Y'all only known each other through a screen. This is first time being in person with you, and you can't expect for him to understand and get how he should treat you, get how he should talk to you. So I was 100% on the therapist. I was 100% on Irvin. Like, you can't use your trauma for a way to people to understand you when they're still confused about you. Like, that's so weird to me. And it wasn't even necessary. Like, it wasn't even enough of this for this to be a point. Like, for me, I don't think that the therapist did anything. I think that this is just Alicia trying to find sympathy. This is Alicia trying to find anybody to understand her side and not understand Irvin's side. Yes, Irvin, she isn't as affectionate you thought she would be. Maybe it's because she probably spoke to you in a different way on camera and never thought y'all had the opportunity to be on, and never thought y'all would have the opportunity to be in person with one another. She probably promised you, or she probably said a lot of things that kind of got your mind turned about how you gonna have this great relationship with her. And when you see her in person, she pretty much flipped and changed. And now you're fighting to get anything out of her because y'all have not kissed, y'all barely hold hands. So I can see how this is probably tiring of him, but I don't see this relationship lasting at all. So throughout this episode, I got confused about whose turn is it to cook, because it is Brandon's and Kiki's turn, but you got Brandon doing all the cooking, Cinco, Jared, and Ty helping him out in the kitchen. And I'm like, where the hell is Keke? Keke is upstairs resting. Come to find out, she's not upstairs resting. She is outside walking with Britt, having a good old time, having a good old conversation, not acting like she needs to be here in the kitchen helping Brandon. So it's like, man, what are you doing? She didn't even want to try to come into the kitchen and help Brandon prepare dinner because she sees that he has a whole bunch of help and she's like, what am I supposed to do? Hello, come in here and help dinner with your man. That's what you're supposed to do. So Brandon comes out and says, are you dependable? Because I feel like if you can't do nothing for yourself, then I don't think I can expect anything from you. And I kind of understand where Brandon's coming from because I'm out here preparing dinner for everybody by myself and my partner isn't here. And I want this opportunity for us to do this together because I want us to do these types of things together. And you're not helping me. And Kiki is like, so what do you want me to do? I mean, you guys are on my zone. What you want me to do? Like Kiki ran from holding herself accountable for the way she let Brandon out hanging. Like for Kiki to leave him by himself to prepare dinner was annoying me. Like you couldn't even try to assert yourself and say, hey y'all, thanks for helping my man now. I wasn't feeling good, but now I'm back now. I can help him. You couldn't even do that. You couldn't even think of speaking up for yourself and trying to be there for your man like you need to. But no, you just walk away, escape accountability, escape responsibility because this is the way you want to do things. You don't want anyone to question you. You don't want anyone else to bother you. You want everyone to give you your space and not hold you accountable for anything, not let you know what you did was wrong. Got it. So Brandon, again, like I said, he wanted this to be an experience for both of them, and he made her favorite meal, hibachi. He's never made hibachi before. And that sounds super sweet. But again, it's like, I can't even depend on you to help prepare dinner. Make it make sense. And reprimanded as a child. And I don't know if it's due to her size, if it's her insecurities of her size and thinking that nobody likes her. But she is a very sweet girl. She's very cute. But I feel like she plays on her insecurities for people to coddle her, for people to want to rescue her, for people to want to defend her because she's so sweet, thinking that she's such an innocent victim. And I don't think she is. So when the dinner was done, Brandon was being petty. When he pointed out that everybody, including my sous chef, had made this dinner for y'all, bon appetit. I said, well, damn. I mean, hey, you could feel how you want to feel, Kiki. You could feel annoyed. You felt like that was too much. Well, you left this man hanging. And you was drunk the night before. You really was not participating in anything else. So it is what it is. So I think Brandon asked, how did everybody feel about the challenges? And everybody was like, the challenges have been difficult and it's been surprising. And I feel like Kiki wants to blame everything on Brandon, but I'm like, it's not Brandon's fault. This is on you. This is you not recognizing your problems and you not being held accountable. So now Jared wants to play a messy game of let's pretend if the decision day was tomorrow. Would you leave with the people you came on the show with, or would you go your separate ways? All right. So half the answers were yeses, and there were two undecided. There were about six or four no's. Brandon admitted he wrote no because of the way that he was left to do all the cooking by himself by Kiki. And after everybody ate, Brandon did what he's supposed to do, start cleaning the kitchen, and Kiki is in another room playing pool. I'm like, Kiki, the least you could have did was help this man clean the kitchen because you didn't help him prepare dinner. Kiki was the one who put up the question mark, only because she saw that Brandon wrote no and wanted to be petty up under him. But then she said she didn't want to ruin the fairy tale. I'm like, you ruined the fairy tale with the way you think that Brandon was supposed to just be okay with you leaving him by himself to prepare dinner and you not holding yourself accountable by how you got drunk the night before and you have been not drinking enough water. You've been avoiding your accountability, avoiding how you were plastered drunk the night before. Then she said, he is one of my best friends, but I think he's changed. I don't think he's a person that I knew. For the last 4 years, like, what is it though? So now she don't think that the relationship is going to work. It's not going to work because of your behavior, Kiki. That's why. So So then she wanted to ask Brandon about did he write the word no? And he don't want to answer this question because he's tired. He spent the whole night cooking for 14 people along with people who came to help him, and he just spent the entire night cleaning dishes. So no, he is not in the mood to talk to you. Now Kiki wants to play victim and be like, the one thing I don't like is being ignored. I don't like feeling abandoned. And I'm like, how do you think he felt? Kiki, how do you think Brandon felt when you left him behind for him to cook dinner by himself and you didn't do anything? He felt ignored. He felt abandoned. He didn't feel considered. So don't make it seem as if because he wrote no and he is not having this conversation with you because he's pissed and he has a right to be pissed. Now you want to be, I don't like feeling abandoned. I don't like when people leave me by myself. Excuses right now. And I think this is her excuse for her to go to alcohol. So now everybody just wanted to know what is the issue between Brandon and Keke because Brandon's energy is off. Okay. So everyone is pretty much like trying to put together pieces. One minute you are laying down, you're resting, you're saying you're tired, you're overheated, you're dehydrated, you might have heat exhaustion, but yet he sees you outside casually walking out, having a good time, having conversation. So it's like, what is it? So you got to understand how it makes him feel. This was your night to cook with him. This was something that y'all was supposed to do together, and you left him by himself. And then when she came in to be involved in the conversation, she has a glass of wine. So it's like we're seeing the problem right here, Keke. This is why we understand why Brandon was mad at you. And then when Brandon comes in, Brittany want to be in the mix by saying that we want to know how you feel towards Keke with the way you acted towards her. He said, listen, you mentioned that she wasn't feeling good. I checked in on her and she said she was tired and she was exhausted from what took place earlier. I asked her, is it because of what you were drinking the night before? Could your body have had a reaction to you drinking all that alcohol? Now Keke is mad about why you're bringing it up again. Like, why are you trying to make it sound like I have a problem? It's like you can't even defend your case in this, Keke. For you to say I don't have an issue, he said, "What you mean you don't have an issue? We just talked about you not drinking, and here you go again drinking." Now she wants to be obtuse and say it's a glass of wine. Don't piss me off with that shit. I can't stand people do that. You're don't play on semantics by how it's a glass of wine. Alcohol is alcohol. Any form of alcohol you are consuming is an issue. No matter what level it's on, no matter what kind it is, it could be a wine cooler, wine spritzer, a daiquiri, a sangria. It doesn't matter. You couldn't even last one day without liquor. And then he's like, listen, in the end, you do what you do. Don't expect for me to care for you if you don't want to care for yourself. And that's when he says, I'm washing my hands of this. I'm going to bed. Then Ty comes in and tells her, listen, this is why he's upset because he cares. If he didn't care, then that would have been a problem. But then she said, but I want him to care. I want him to. Okay, well, stop. Stop acting like a baby. Stop whining and want someone to understand how this makes you feel when you don't even want to understand how it makes him feel. This is why he asked you before, do you think you have a problem with alcohol? You want to say no. Here it is. You kind of do. So he says that Kiki's actions are shocking and doesn't know if she can get this under control. And he doesn't know if he'll continue with this relationship. I think something might have happened in Brandon's life that he does not deal with this type of situation. He does not allow this. He wants you to get it in control ASAP. If you tell me you got a problem, I want to make sure you're getting this problem under control because I'm not going to be the one picking you up when you're plastered drunk. You don't know your limits on how you drink. I don't want to deal with that. Ty and Britt have their massage, and throughout the massage, Ty was joking the entire time, and Britt wishes that he does not have to be such a joker all the time. So now Keke talks to Tati about how she don't like feeling alone and she don't like him harping on the issue that she has an alcohol problem. But she admitted when her mother passed away, she did turn to alcohol to cope with the pain of losing her. And she did say, I can find other ways of coping. Well, obviously, have you tried to find those other ways of coping? Because the first thing you pick up is a bottle. The first thing you want to do is drink away your pain. So there it is. You admitting that you did turn to alcohol when your mother passed away because you could not handle losing her. This is what you're doing right now. For some odd reason, you're using you being nervous, you're being afraid of being around this type of space, the first thing you do is drink away the nerves, take away the numbness, take it away. You want to be numb and not feel what you need to feel and figure out a way of figure out a way of expressing it. So there it is right there. Keke got a problem. To my surprise, I'm seeing that Jared, Cinco, Brandon, and Chris are outside throwing a football. And Jared wrote fuck no on his card. Remember, he said earlier he wrote hell yes or something, but no, he wrote fuck no because he is concerned about not being in the Brady Bunch with Charlie. I said, oh, wow, interesting. So, Cinco, no, he said fuck no, right? But then he allows for her to get his name tatted on her, and he still is ready to crack her. Of course, cracker means he ready to have sex. So my thing is this, though, Jared, you just came on here to fuck. You didn't come here to be in a full blown relationship with Charlie, even if you did not find out that she had multiple children. You just wanted to fuck. Case solved right there. And then Brandon wrote no. Irvin probably wrote no. Jared wrote fuck no. And Chris said hell no. So 4 out of the 7 men do not see this relationship working. And that ain't that some shit. Jared is a liar. Okay, he flat out lies to Charlie when they got back into the kitchen because Charlie said yes on her note, and she asked him, did he say yes? He said, hell yeah. I said, hell yeah. Now Charlie is seeing a different side. She says, I can imagine what you're thinking. I'm automatically right about what you're thinking, but right now I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not. And Chris is witnessing Jared lie to Charlie right in front of her face. And the only reason why Jared is still pursuing this relationship is because he wants to have sex with Charlie. He's been waiting to have sex with her for the last 4 years. But something's telling me you did not wait to have sex with her. You've been having sex with other people, but it's been Charlie. You've been really waiting to fuck. But next episode, we know she gonna give him some. I hope that y'all use protection because Jared, she just gave birth. She is extremely fertile, man. She is extremely fertile, sir. And if you don't want to be a part of the Brady Bunch clan, I suggest you don't nut in her and end up having another baby. I suggest that. Because then you can't get mad at nobody but yourself when this has been your sole purpose of coming on this show. These niggas ain't shit. And Keke, you are an alcoholic. You need to seek help. You need to figure out what is causing your trauma other than your mom's passing. And then I hope we find out what is the real issue as to why you're still living with this ex-boyfriend. That was a part of the secret she said in the trailer. I want to find out why. But y'all, that was pretty much it. This show was a mess. A straight up mess. But that is it. That is all. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.